In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I clean highly neglected wheels and tires. As you can see, these tires and wheels have not been cleaned since the vehicle was purchased, and a lot of the times this can be a very daunting process for just anyone who wants to clean up their car over the weekend and just does it as a hobby in a lot of ways. And here I want to show you guys how I do it to get the best results possible with the least amount of tools and equipment that you need. Now, the tools and products I recommend for brake dust and iron fallout, I like to use the CarPro Iron X. It does this job excellent. Yeah. Now these are the tools and products I'm going to be using for this video. A soft bristle wheel brush. It allows you to get into the nice corners and stuff and not mar up anything and scratch it, which is big. A flexible wheel brush to get inside the wheel tub itself and drum, and it fits in there. As you can see, it reaches around really well, and it's a very underlooked part of the wheel and tire cleaning process, and it needs to be done to really ensure the best results. A contouring tire brush. This really pulls out and gets into nooks and crannies of your tire. That offers the best cleaning, as well as it's stiff enough to really pull away any dirt and grime left on the tire itself. And this is optional, but it's also really helpful, is a detailing brush. It allows you to get inside around the lug nuts and just the tighter corners that you normally can't get to with a larger brush. For the products, I'm going to be using Chemical Guy's Diablo wheel cleaning gel. I like it. It's pretty much anything works. That is a wheel cleaning specific item. Also, all-purpose cleaner. I am using Zepp's all-purpose. It's good for wheels and tires. That's the primary use that I use it for. And to get all this brake dust and grime off, I'm going to be using CarPro Iron X. Now this is probably, in my opinion, the best product for this on the market, at least that I use. I've had great results with it, and it's going to really bring color back and really pull off all this grime. Now it's not easy to do because it's so big, like just chalked in. It's going to take a couple passes to go through, so don't just get discouraged if it takes more than one process. And also, to go with it, always remember, bucket to rinse off your brushes, and I use a power washer just because it helps blow away a lot of the stuff easier. You can use a hose with a simple nozzle as well. It doesn't really matter, but for me, the power washer is the most effective way to do this. So I'm going to get into that now, and I'll show you the process. The first one is going to be power washing the wheels and tires to kind of knock off all the junk and debris that you see here. Hopefully we can get a little bit more off, and we'll go from there. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with the all-purpose cleaner to go all along the tire and wheel and to get just general grime off. Next, the soft brush for wheels. Just kind of work it all in as many of the nooks and crannies as you can. Try to really pull through. Don't know what that is. Something stuck up on there. Now don't get discouraged if you see a lot of this brake dust and iron fallout still left on here. It's not, this all-purpose cleaner is not going to pull that off, but it's only getting the grime and just the general nasty stuff that you see on here off. Detail brush next to really get in some of the nooks and crannies. I also like to use it right up in here where the bead is. Just run it right along in there. Just pull out some grime that usually doesn't come out too easy. Now we'll rinse that off. We're going to follow up with the Diablo wheel cleaner. It works really well on tires too. It's not the best, but it just helps lift a little bit more here and there. Again, we're going to start with the tire. Back to the soft brush. As you can see, we're starting to have a little bit more color up here, back into the wheel itself. And again, detail brush. This time you're going to be a little bit more thorough because you are using a specified wheel cleaner, and that'll give you the best results for removing a lot of this grime. And it also helps prepare the surface for when we use the iron fallout remover to really get all this brake dust off by giving it the best surface and cleaning off anything that could be stuck onto the brake dust itself, preventing the chemical actually reaching it and penetrating the iron itself. Now we're going to use the wheel ground brush, and we're going to start to reach in there a little bit. You're not going to get as much as you want with this, but it will start to pull away at it because this is a stiffer brush. And the main goal of this is to help, like we did out on the outside, clean off as much as possible for our fallout remover to reach in there and break up as much as possible. When you get around the calipers, it does get a little tight, so don't get discouraged. And also be careful of these stiff bristles, because as you can see, when I pull back, it does spray backwards, and you don't want any of these chemicals in your eyes. Now we're going to rinse this off. Now we're going to hit it with the most important process to really brighten up the look of these wheels. We're going to hit it with the Iron X. Now to do this, you always want it a little wet and you don't want it on direct sunlight. You want to make sure that the product gets to sit and does not dry onto the wheel itself, because this is an acidic product and you don't want it to eat away at anything on the tire except for the brake dust itself. So we're going to hit with that. It's going to turn it purple, and that's a good thing to see. We're going to let it sit for a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll start trying to scrub off as much as this is possible. It might take more than one pass. Alright, we're going to let that sit, and I'll be back in a minute, and we will start scrubbing away at this and try to break up as much of this as possible. Alright, I got some gloves because this is very important to have them on, because this is an acidic product. You don't want this on your hands. It's just not good for you. So gloves are important for this step. Now we're going to use the detail brush to start out with on this one, and we're just going to try to work in as much as possible. Now for a flexible wheel brush, we're going to try to get in as much of this as possible and really try to just tear into this. All right, we're going to rinse this off again. We're going to repeat the process until we get a very satisfactory result. Run this again and repeat the process until we really get result one, and let's make it. Alright, we're going to continue on the same way we did before, and we're going to try to be very aggressive with this product. I'm going to be using the detail brush to really get in here. As you can see, it is coming off. It's a little slow just because there's so much of it. It's how many years of this thing? I think this is an 8-year-old vehicle, and this has never been done to it before. So this is years and years of constant wear from brake dust and our Delaware roads, where it always is changing. You can be on dirt road, uneven gravel. There's so many variations in our roads down here that our wheels and tires take beating. So it's really good to put a lot of effort cleaning them. It goes a long way. By now you should be able to notice a pretty big difference in the condition of these wheels, and this is just from 2 passes. You can do a lot with wheels. Now we're back to our flexible wheel brush, and we're going to really try to get back in there again and try to break up as much in the drum as we can. Unfortunately, with these conditions, with the condition of these wheels, I really don't think I'm going to be able to get the inside of the drum in here really clean unless we take them off and we really just tear into them with a lot of the mechanical polishing and cleaning. Alright, we're going to rinse this off again and repeat the process. Now after this step here, I switched over to a much stiffer brush, specifically used for cleaning grout and tile. The soft bristles on the detailing brush were just not cutting it, and the reason I start with the soft detailing brush is to limit the aggressiveness that you go into the wheels themselves, because you don't want to scratch them or mar them and do any more damage to the wheels itself. But in this case, the brake dust was so stuck on that I had to get a little bit more aggressive with it, and in the end it turned out a lot better and was worth it. Thank you for watching. I hope this was also really informative and helpful process to show. If you guys have any more suggestions on things you want to see me clean and how I do it, please let me know in the comments, and I will make sure to get more how-tos like this out there. I also want to thank the owner of this vehicle for letting me use their car for this video. It's a huge help for me to be able to show off how I do this stuff for you guys so you can see